Chat popped out. There we go. So live working test. Yep. Cool. I want to hear that. What's up, friends? Hey. Everybody's tuning in. That was quick. Good afternoon, friends. What's up, Brian? Joe? Insert name here. Great name. The DIY. Good morning, guys. What's up, Terry? How we doing? We're just going to hang out for the next hour here as we set up for Futes. No real lesson having here. A lot of people want the fresh start, so we're going to go over a few things here in a couple minutes. Take some peeks at the old daily. Move on through what we got going on here. Quite the wick on that last daily, man. Just trying to step into some news here too. With what we had going on for the last couple days on the weekend here. $3.5% budget, of course, my real against tariffs. Good today. We're getting Trump tweets today. We are. That's happening at 3:39. So 2:03. So 1 p.m. Zelensky, Russia bases, very tangible Russian losses operations. Trump is on it. He is on it. Yeah, eventually. That's how it works. Tariffs, no tariffs, on, off, on, off, on, off. What's up, Mr. 72? How we doing? Let's set up for some of these Futes. Let's do some live learning here. So every time I come in, we're going to set up and start peeking at these charts. We had such a low-flying kind of drop, prediction on Friday that we played. Kind of forgot about that instant up, instant down runner. That NVIDIA move was, it's kind of all I forgot about. So we're going to come back here and take a peek at a few candles. Doesn't look like there's any crazy fair value gaps or anything like that that are open. There's lots of pretty strong wicks here on the 5-minute because when I look for impulse moves to that upside, and then obviously the upside consolidates and downsides, we're looking for any kind of overlapping. But most of these wicks, there's like a small amount right there. It's very small zones here. We're still new at these concepts. We don't use them that much. I'll have to drag it from this way. I think it's really tiny. It's like this big. Yeah. We'll get to my regular stuff here in a minute, of course. Yeah, that's about it. Very small one. Whenever you look for impulse moves that flush up and flush down, or rather pop up and flush down, you always got to make sure you don't have overlapping bodies. And if you guys got questions, shoot them out there. We're just going to do some live setups. So I have no problem covering anything you guys want for a little Q&A action. Then we'll give away some cash money during some futures trading or right after, about an hour. We're going to have a 2017 look market. Ukraine, Russia keeps at it. I don't know, man. I think that'll come to an end sooner than you think. 2022 is more of like a very slow drop pullback. The one that we're coming up to, the crash that we're coming up to, that we all think is going to be a conglomerate into 26, all of us pretty much, in our crew here into 2026 is going to be more of a rapid down pace. It's not going to be like the ones you're used to where everything's been picked up over and over and over and over and over and over by quantitative easing, money printing, you name it, whatever saves the day there. We'll be looking for something opposite this time. I don't think we'll be getting that. I have a lot of videos predicting what 2026 is on our live channels for what's to come for 2025 and 6. So I go over that a lot in those videos. Good afternoon, Steve. What's up, man? Oops. Kind of liking just waiting for breaks of swing highs and swing lows along with the up fist. Yeah, most definitely. The sweeps have been really good lately. Fresh sweep lows and highs, just fantastic, really. We had that last sweep actually on that prediction on Thursday where we opened right here at that 5 p.m. and we alerted the chat best we could, started screaming at everybody. So we were going to have a crazy kickback up, super blammo, scammo to the upside if this doesn't break down. I think it was like 25 or 21.5, 25 was 11. I don't know. Let's check the chat, but it was right in here. And that was, you can see that sweep at the end, obviously earnings, but still technical is still technical. So if you back up here a little bit on the 5-minute, the sweep, fresh high reversals and lows have been playing really well. So you think of it like this, just nothing burger goes up, sweeps highs, crash, sweeps highs, crash, sweeps lows up. And then you can see the big crash right up here, the fresh high, fresh low. We've been calling it fresh high, fresh low scams for reversals for like 8 years. I didn't even know smart money concept existed. I didn't know these sweeps existed. We just called them something opposite in our group because I just don't study that kind of stuff. We kind of make our own way. When you got a system that works, you just don't change it too much. You try not to add too many things to it. But yeah, sweep high right here at the, that was a 2618 hit. I remember 3618 rather. And that was a beautiful one. So we do have a little bit of overlap fair value gap here that's kind of left open. Might be a zone we'll have to look into. It looks like we have a very small one down here too, which I've been watching these closely where there's no interaction between bodies, right? So you get a full flush here, and then if you look to the right, you look for something that pairs that for the body. So yeah, 21,220 looks like one. SPY is harder to trade, move smaller, K5 into stacks. Yeah, no, I agree. ES, I believe that, oh wait, I might be skipping some stuff. I go way up there, okay. SPY is the real market. I always talk about SPY being the real market because it's 500 versus 100. So you're going to get 500 stocks that act more appropriately than 100 stocks. So 100 can be more unpredictable and volatile because it takes more to move 500 than it takes to move 100, right? So when something actually hits resistance or support or has a movement on SPY, it can matter a lot more than NQ because that is 500 versus 100. So whenever I say that we're trading something off the SPY versus QQQ, I'm actually looking for QQQ moves a lot of the time, or us as futures traders now, looking for NQ moves. But what we usually end up doing is looking at SPY and ES and judging my NQ trades off of SPY. And that's purely because of movement. SPY moves slower. So in my opinion, just for my trading, SPY is, it's easier if you're patient. It's very easy. SPY is a very forgiving market, right? So $50 on a mini, for a whole point, the 4 tick, 1250, 1250, 1250, 1250. And then you got NQ, $20, which is obviously rapid movement, hundreds of points a candle sometime. And that's pretty crazy. So SPY, let's do, look at a little example what we did last week here too. When we come into that last GP session we had on the dump, we'll have to rebuild it real quick. So we'll leave SPY there and QQQ on the left here. So the example here for like Friday, this is why I pay attention to SPY. And I said this live for our group too on stream. If you take yesterday's high-low, which we always do. So you got yesterday's high, yesterday's lows. You guys see that pretty good? Yeah. And we make those, that's 1618, I'm retarded. High, low right here. And GP, right? So we always focus on the prior day GP all the time. So what we did is we took the high and low GPs of each day. And if you were paying attention to QQQ, and especially for our systems and how they work a lot of the time, we looked at this as, what would you possibly be doing with a GP on QQQ outsourced of a tag on SPY? So if you look here, yesterday's high, low for Friday, the GP is here between 590.50 and 588.80. But if you look over here at the Qs, which is a perfectly drawn high-low, we don't have a GP tag, right? But Qs crashed anyway. But even though it didn't hit resistance, it crashed anyway. Why did it do that? Because SPY is the big hoss. This is the boss over here, okay? So SPY moved into the golden pocket and hit its perfect resistance call, and then we called the short down to the 583 and change, right? That was our huge algo. We have a couple of YouTube videos calling the exact target we wanted for Friday and the end of the week. That was here, right? And this GP right here was never tagged. So if you're a Qs trader and you're waiting for it to pop back up and hit that resistance and get a really nice rejection, that play never came. So you might have been waiting, and then miss, right? But if you were paying attention to SPY, the big boss market, or the one that sets the pace, I'd say 8.5 out of 10 times, you would have been maybe ready to short this over here on the Q side. So a lot of the times I will look at like, oh, SPY's coming into a 50 resistance, Qs has nothing, but if SPY starts a really nice rejection down and it hits something, which is big in the mindset for the whole day, right? So I'm talking about sentiment for the whole day. We just hit GP on SPY, and I said this on our stream, it doesn't have to happen on QQQ. QQQ will leave open daily gaps, right? Like let's say it opened above yesterday's highs way up here, which we've seen last week as well. And the Qs came down here and almost hit yesterday's highs and then went up. SPY came down and hit yesterday's highs and then perfectly ran back up. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday last week. So again, QQQ leaving a gap open. So we trade algorithms, right? We trade algo magnets. And I like to see when price action magnets. QQQ is not the best magnet. Sometimes it is because it'll show, the proxies. It'll show the catalyst for it, like, moving average shining or GP shining on Fibonacci, or it will have some kind of catalyst that'll show us that. But SPY is still the boss of all things, no matter what. And you can see that in a lot of different instances when you start correlating to both. That's why we look at QQQ and SPY, just because there's going to be certain algos on each one, and each one is going to have a different trade value, right? One was, for the other example would be for the long trade, right? The trade example for this one was, well, SPY on intraday, we were coming long off this. We got out of our short right here ahead of time, and then it started popping right away. And I was like, okay, well, look at this. SPY only has, like, from here to the GP from that bottom, we're looking at like 0.3%, about 18 points. I knew the QQQ had a bigger, right, distance, 0.8%, not 0.3%, 4.5 points. Those are 40 NQ points per 1 point on the QQQ. So we have $4, so 160 points, and then obviously another half, so 180 points. So this one had 180 points from those lows, and ES only had like 12, right? So what I did was I longed NQ over here because it had way more upside, because SPY was already very close to its golden pocket. So I figured if I had a better trade setup, it would be on the Q side of things, because Qs was farther away from the golden pocket. So my expectation was for the lows here to push back up to the GP. But even if they didn't hit the GP, I was still looking over here for the SPY's daily GP. And that's why we knew to stay out of that ending long there, the QQQ. If it would have been, trending and pushing, great. But everything is over under value for VWAP. But when those trades persist, when it opens up and you see the SPY down here and you have a long way up to that golden pocket for QQQ versus SPY, SPY had a very short opportunity. QQQ was super far away from the GP. So I picked the long on QQQ because we had a farther distance to travel, and that's a better setup, right? Because I had more points. Let me try to catch up. Can I increase the size of this as I'm blind? Oh, I can. Look at that. All right. I could barely read the chat here. There we go. Now that's readable. My spider I can have done it. The real market's true. 500 versus 100. Correct, right? Yeah, amazing. How you doing, buddy? SPY is harder to trade. Moves are smaller, aka 500 stocks. Yep. They're safer, though. I wouldn't say harder. It is slower. So if you're trying to make fast money, definitely much harder to make fast money on SPY rather than QQQ, but it is a safer trader no matter what. It'll react to moving averages, fibs, support resistance better. On SPY, fib out the 27th, and the GP was swept by the 30th wick. We stay above the 30th GP. Look for the stack of 1618. Break up GP. Looks touch right here. Yeah, let's check that out. Let's give that a look. So you're saying fib out 27. We got that sweep. This should be 27. I don't know if this is considered a sweep. You're saying it swept the GP. 27th GP was swept by the 30th. So what you're saying is you're kind of just saying that the lower low happened, right? because a sweep, in my opinion, let's say like on trend, it would come all the way back up, it hits this gap and then pushes. Like a sweep would have to be from a consecutive low like that for a fresh low. So a sweep would have been a lower low from the higher low of trend. In the short term of things, yes, you do have a little bit of a lower low because it is, you know, if you're counting these as highs stacking up in the very short term, yes. But if you're widening out that trend, this higher low, remember, this is a lower high, so the sweep would have been a little bit lower. Definitely counts as a little bit of a lower low sweep, and fresh low scan reversals definitely happen. But I'm not a great at the terminology of smart money concepts, so don't don't bastardize me if that's exactly what it is called. But I don't know it that well. But the fresh low into GP, I just call this a GP hit, right? So this is just finally a GP. I would call this more of a shy and a magnet. So for me, just in our systems and how I articulate the market, I would fib this high low, and then we check this out coming into the sweep, which you're talking about sweep. I'm talking about just filling the GP, which doesn't matter to me, terminology. Whatever happened, great. It's on the chart. Let's use it. But moving into the stack for the 1618 break below GP, look for the gap touch, and that's exactly right. So this golden pocket has a lot of weight, but let's talk about a couple different magnets that are a little stronger that we covered on YouTube a couple times for this trend. So if we backed up a little bit, remember I've been calling for the high to break under the 10 SMA in the blue there, right? This is your 10 SMA if you're not familiar with our trade systems here. So this high would be sweeping under the 10 SMA, coming back up. That's what we call a 10 SMA loop. The price action breaks under and loops back over and generally finds resistance. Now, whether that resistance needs to be, a fresh high, because we've seen loops go poop and pop. That's a sweep to me, right? Because then we would be knocking out this high. So if this high came down under the 10 SMA and snapped up to a wick, something like that, right? And swept all of 600 and then decided to come down for the gap fill, I would love to see that. And that could happen from the 1618. So yes, that's scenario number one. You would definitely want to use the GP of 527 because this is going to be a huge over under, which we use a lot. So if you start to see that support 584 and 88 above and it breaks out, absolutely you're heading to 600. If it stays under the 10 SMA, you're heading to the gap fill. So I 100% agree. What we're going to do on the futures, we'll talk about the predictions a little bit later. I'll give you guys a rundown on what we are going to do with this Friday candle here at the open on SPY because futures trade obviously every night. So unless we get some kind of catastrophic gap down monstrosity open, which, we'll see, then I'll change my mind. But we'll talk about it later when we see the futures open and digest a little bit. And hopefully we can get a view on that. But yep, that sounds great. You are correct, my friend. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah, it's a large basket. Yep, for sure. Big basket, better greetits, better pizza, Bob Jones, whatever it says. More is better. More. Better. 500 versus 100. Got to use it. Mag 7 portion of each index much different. Correct. Yep. That's why also you want to be on the SPY. Yeah, no problem, buddy. I know you normally don't pay attention to gaps in pre-market, but you talked about the gap in VIX closed on your Friday video. Yep. Said because big gap pre-market. I don't actually consider VIX having a pre-market or not. The market's the only thing that is a pre-market. VIX is just kind of open. I know it puts it on the chart there. I don't view it as a pre. All gap lives matter on VIX. So when you go to the 5-minute chart, all gaps matter. I don't care if it's the pre. The only one that I always say that I don't pay attention to mostly is the gap overnight. And that's the one that I just tend not to care about because we have moving average magnets, like I explained in that last video as well. So the gap, like from here where a close to open happens, on the VIX, I don't care about that as much as I would this big dude right here. That would be one of my favorites. We got a slim one right above it, but a large 5-minute gap. The bigger the gap, stronger that the comeback's going to be, which brings us to a second point of our prediction videos. Like this is a gap overnight and a big daily, but look at some of the monsters that this thing left during intraday while it was in the daily gap. So this big channel in gray is the daily gap on the VIX. And then when you see right here, there's a very large gap and then another slim. Looks kind of funny because this is exactly inverse of what we just looked at over here. So VIX coming back up to low 20s here in the $20.75 range. It's a very high probability because of those gaps. That's why I'm leaning to the short side right now until the charts tell me something else. I need to believe that VIX can find, here's that big gap. What I mean by inverse is look at what we just looked at. That's a green gap to the upside, large gap, slim gap. Is that not literally identical and inverse to what we just looked at here? Computers will always flip the shit. It's the same thing. It's right here, right? It's the same pattern. And what happened? Straight up, and the other one was down. So very interesting gap pattern there that looks identical because this one held and pushed, the other one did the opposite. So yeah, I got to stay on the backside of things just because of this cluster of no GPs. Now we did pop up with that last data, and this is the last thing that kind of ruins our fun here. That we had a million freaking no GP tags up here, and these data wicks from Friday slapped back into 2045, deleting a lot of those golden pockets that could have been really good magnets to trend to the upside instead of just snapping up like it did here on Friday and closing the golden pockets. So, but yeah, that's yeah, VIXie's good. I would just use the 5-minute the gaps. The only thing I don't use is the overnight ones. Those are the ones that don't matter to me as much. Who do you suggest is the best fib to go with? Intraday, high low. There's no best, unfortunately. They all work. The best, if I had to, the old ultimatum, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick the best. What would I pick every single day? It's what candle is touching. So we do have that video I posted a couple times in our chat too, when we go over how to pick candles to fib. That video does explain a lot of why we pick the candles we do and what's a little better, because we got class A trades, we got class D trades, we got class A plus S tier like can't miss trades, which are crazy algo magnets, and then we got some that I just want to scalp a little bit and we could play this one. It looks doable, right? And each fib, depending on where you're drawing it, it goes with other catalysts, right? We like to stack catalysts. So to pick a best fib, if I had to pick just one, it's like gun to your head. Hey, you can only have one fib. You can't pick anything else. I would just use high low of action. Yesterday's high low. Like if I would just pick dailies. I would not even bother thing. If I wanted a foolproof plan, daily Fibonacci and algos. I would not worry about a single other thing. And I'm talking algos like this, and then our typical high low. If I had to pick, there's one thing to pick, because that's like in my big account, it slows me down a lot when I give you guys like the breakdown for the day, what we look for. And sometimes, more often than not, which is lucky, we do predict the rest of the day's market a lot more than we don't. For like when we get off at 10 a.m. and I'm like, okay, look for this reversal at 10:30 or 11, or we're going to come back and magnet this 100 EMA, so you guys watch for this. And we give you those predictions to what to look for, and they turn up quite a bit, which is really nice. And what we do with that is, especially in the big accounts, is we'll scale a couple of micros, and I'll just leave the computer. I'll set the stops. So if I have a high low that I'm working with on the Fibonacci like this, where I'm trading SPY, it's the best of the best, I do the high low. And let's say I come in and I'm done with my trade, or I got something to do, and I see the big base support. I'll take like 2 or 3 MES, whatever it happens to be. I'll put it on a low side. I'll set a stop, and I'll set my out order at the GP, right? So that day I would have been up here probably early, probably not the 50, 24 points to the upside, and I would have risked, under pre-market low, about a little better 1 to 1.4 ish. So it wouldn't be anything like that. But if I really had to pick, I would pick algorithms, which are the giant, crazy looking wicks like this, pre-market and live. If they're live, they're even stronger. If they're pre-market, they just have to be large wicks. I don't do the bodies, and I also don't do after hours, like all these leaky weird wicks. I don't do those either. Only pre-market, large, interesting ones, and during the day. So if I really had to pick the best, those will always net you the largest magnets. And our fib magnets, better than us, or know better than anybody if you're in our group. If you are fibbing out yesterday's high, yesterday's lows, the whole trade system is, are we above yesterday's lows? Yes. Look for the golden pocket tag. Are we outside of yesterday's lows? Yes. Look for the 1618. It's literally that simple. And then when you overlap multiple days worth, that's when it gets more interesting. So let's take the next, or the prior day, right? Thursday. Move that to the right. This is a funny one. I just wanted to mention it. Isn't that funny? Oh, let me move this one out. Oh, you can't even see the other one. I'm on the wrong. I have too many panels. Way too many panels. I'll do it this way. So when you're taking your prior day, that was funny. 3 screens. I'm looking at an OBS mirrored one. Whoops. So something interesting about this overlap here, and what I'll do here is, I'll do this right here. And what I like to do is multi-GP on the dailies. This is why I would pick dailies over anything else. And I don't even need this one anymore. I just want to know where the golden pocket is. So between Thursday and Friday, there's a very interesting thing that happened here because it's recovery, right? So what we do is if this was the high-low of the prior, right, comes in, this is the first GP tag, washes back out, the recovery of that low point, right, is extremely important to the past day Fibonacci, especially if they're in line. So let's take a day like this where they're just kind of side by side and they don't have a whole lot of not opposing highs where something was super high, came all the way back down. We have a lot of range, right? And it just kind of sits right here. If the prior Fibonacci day like this happens and then we get our GP tag and it breaks out and doesn't go to the 1618 and then reverses back into that lows, it's going to snap back up to the ending phase of that GP. Notice where that is, where the top is. So this is where it was created. Then we trade Friday, comes in, hits the 50, okay? Huge rejection, hits our algo target, right? So remember, we called, it's not going to be perfect, but you'll get the point. We said it was going to come down to this 50. We'll make this one neon green. We said this one on YouTube here. Well, we'll try. GP to GP. And this is why dailies are so important. I like scalping the faster pace moves while I'm waiting for GP hits. So don't get me wrong. I'll use 1s, 5s, 15s all the time because they're fun for me to scalp. But look at how crazy the algo and GPs are. So Thursday's high-low. Let's go over this again. Friday open. Hits 50. Rejects. Boom. Hits short target, which we called 584.31 for the 50. And then goes all the way back to what? The top of that no tag GP. Right? Because we rejected 589. 0.62, came all the way down to our target short, and then all the way back to fulfilling the actual GP of Thursday. So Thursday's high-low, full golden pocket finally tagged, but it wasn't until that last ending V reversal at that peak. So if I had to pick, I could have traded the whole day with 2, but you got to be extra patient. I like to scalp a little bit more, especially with some of the smaller account stuff that we're doing, but I would pick daily. There's so many instances I could go over and over again, daily. It would be daily and algos. I could trade with sweeps, smart money concept, I should say pattern. I could trade patterns with just Fibonacci's daily, and that I would have no problem with. I do that a lot of my big account, a lot of the swing days when we give you guys predictions and we leave chat. I'll keep a micro or 3 or 4 on, and it's just add a bonus. Why is this not minimizing? There we go. Right into liquidity fee surplus. No problem, buddy. Been studying those smart money premium discount levels. Volume seems to be the biggest giveaway. They're serious or not. Makes sense. Yeah. Volume. Without volume, none of these indicators work. So utilizing something that uses volume is key. That's why we liked. I like MACD. It's a little bit of associated volume, but TTM squeeze volumes were, I used to use those a lot, and you could use them to actually predict sweeps as well. I've thrown the old TTM indicator back on and have seen that a bunch. Absolutely. No problem, Brad. We get a small gap down based on the BTC close on Friday market, close moving and now structure. Gap down. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the down. I've already said I'm not going to go over it again for the 20th time, but if you guys watched any of the YouTube videos yesterday, we went over the 10 SMA loop and downside prediction. So I hope we're going down. We're going to set up futures here in about 10-15 minutes here, start going through all the stuff for our open. And we'll go for that. Do I flick through multiple time frames? No, not for gaps. I wouldn't be able to find multiple gaps. Well, for one, I guess what symbol are you talking about for gaps? Because each one has a different time frame manage for each one, but it doesn't matter. There's certain, all gaps matter for sure, but the time matters, right? So remember how candles are developed, right? If we have a gap at 7 a.m., it's going to be at 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30 hour, 4 hour. It's going to be on every time frame. It's more of a time thing, not a gap thing. It's because the candles are creation of gap. So if you're looking at all 30s, if it's on the 30, it's on the 30, 15, 5, 1. If it's on the hourly, it's on at 7 a.m. on the hour or on the 30 minutes or on the 15. Assume it's from 15 and down, right? Because no matter what, that's how candles are created. So it's always going to be to that point and down. So when it's inside the golden pocket and you want to make a trade, what confirmations do you wait to see if we'll go up or down? Well, the first confirmation, if I'm looking at golden pocket, so we're going to talk about high-low. We're talking about inside the range, right? So when it's inside golden pocket, you want to make a trade. What confirm do you mean? Well, inside the golden pocket, it's not something I look for. So if your question persists of, are we looking at a fib that is inside, like, or price action rather, inside? So let's say it opens right here. Like, what am I looking for confirmation? Nothing. I don't want to trade it in the golden pocket at all. So first part of that question, if I'm understanding that correctly, which you can always chime in, fix me up. But if it's in the golden pocket, I'm not looking for anything. The golden pocket is the trade. The whole pretext to Fibonacci high-low daily is, let's say price action started up here. Is it over yesterday's highs? Is that where the candles are developing? Is that where price action is? Then we're going to look for the 1618 extension way out here, right? If we are under yesterday's highs, that's when I'm going for the golden pocket, because the golden pocket, right, is the inside range. The extensions are the 1618, 2618, so on and so forth. So if we're inside the candle under yesterday's highs, the best case scenario is to get down. And then I'll start stacking my catalyst, right? So I'll come in and I'll go, where is my MACD and where is the RSI? So right away, I'm going to say, are the moving averages on the MACD crossed in moving higher, low, high trend? Sure are. I'm not worried about the oscillation as much at the open, more than the moving averages here. So higher, low, same with the RSI. So we have a attempted bullish move to the golden pocket center, which all I did was articulate RSI and MACD. Those are the only confirms besides trend we use, because let's say if we are looking at the oscillations down here and then we're noticing divergence in the candles, then we definitely have to, plan for that. But when it comes to what are we looking for, I mean, certain times like this, nothing. Certain times like this, nothing. But when it opens up, where are we at the open? Because I'm a magnet trader at the open probably more than anything. Because if we're at the lows and we start to trend back up, I know we're going to GP. If we're breaking outside of the lows, trending down, we have a chance at the 1618. Those are the biggest magnets I would use. Any small account growth coming up for you into the night future? Yep. So what I'm going to do, oh, wait a minute. For non-futures. No, I think I'm going to stick to futures, unfortunately. We've made a big shift, and that's one of the biggest things that I have enjoyed the most, probably, overall. One sec here, guys. Futures, I'll explain here in a second. My camera's going off. The dogs are barking. Somebody might be at the front door here. We'll see. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I think so, baby. You can go check. One of the neighborhood kids are knocking on my door, seeing if my kids want to come out to play. She's talking to the camera, so she's going to head out and play. Sorry, guys. Where were we here? Oh, small account growth coming up, yep, from your non-futures. Unfortunately, I don't trade non-futures. I used to be stocks and options, but there's a big reason why. There's so much more money in options on futures and just trading futures than there are stocks. Because let's say you take stocks for one. Back in the day, we used to trade stocks all the time at BRT, all the time. We used to do small account challenges even because of cash settlements on options. We could do, the T over, what is it nowadays? I think they changed it. There's a bunch more changes coming too, but I think it's like T+1 or whatever. If you go through the list and you're like, oh man, like Apple used to be 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it happened to trade on, like a whole trade day is only like 8 points, Netflix is one of the only things that are trading like old school Amazon, right? And look at Amazon. This used to be like $1,400, $1,800, trading hundreds of points a day. So you can trade that. You can day trade that. What is it now? 4 points? I'm not trading 4 points a day. That is insane. Futures scaling, 10 points on ES is 1 point on SPY. 40 points on QQ or on NQ is 1 point on QQQ. So there is so much more range because stocks split and split and split and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. And I don't trade penny garbage or mediums and under. I only trade bigs because we swapped over to Futes. And now futures, you just have a much wider area. And small accounts, again, you don't need PDT for futures. So you can have a small cash account and trade in and out all day on the ES and NQ. It's better for small traders. And if you're at like Tasty Trade or anything else, you can trade options on futures, which means you can trade options 24 hours a day or 23 hours a day, right? Forgot how many hours we're in a day. So if I'm trading ES and NQ and selling those options, I can trade that all night, overnight. You can trade options on futures, okay? But, yep, no, I'm going to stick in the futures round. We're using a couple prop firms. We still have our cash accounts. We post, all the trades and psychology of what we're doing on both, and usually the P&Ls on all of our props. But we're focusing on small account futures because it's so fantastic. In micros, we always post micros, MNQ, MES. We do small account challenge. I'm going to do a cash small account challenge coming up here soon. I just have to make that this week here, and we're going to do a little series on that because some people don't like the prop trading rules or the 50% of the withdrawal, and I can do it without it. I've done it 100 times on YouTube with small accounts, so we'll do that. But yeah, it's the movement, man. It's all about the futures movement. You can make so much more money. It's better on taxes. You don't need PDT. You don't even need real capital tied up to trade futures at all. You need a few grand set up on NinjaTrader. Their margins are so low. You can take so many MNQs and MESs to help manage a trade for only a few thousand. I would never suggest any trader not do that. I don't mind trading the big stock stuff, but swings with options are all I do nowadays. I don't even bother with trading stock at all. Let's see. I always wait the mag from the 50, but sometimes I want to take trade after that. Yeah, see, first tag is what I scream about all the time on the channel, and that's the highest probability. So the ones that magnet to, you just look for the opposing move of first tag. So like we said on Spies Friday trading, it's not really a confirmation. It's a first tag level mixed with confirmation from your indicators. It's not just one thing. It can't just be a confirmation. This is it. Do this every single time. You can do first tag every single time. That's a fantastic way to trade. We do that a lot. But when it comes to this, like if you wanted to trade the opposite, move all the way back up, wait for the 50. That's the strongest golden pocket. So once you start getting into there, getting close to the 50, I would be mixing that up with your first tag trades. So if you were, okay, once something has moved from here to the golden pocket, look for the opposite scalp. That's it. And what do you have confirmations for? You back up, you're like, okay, are we in a downtrend? Did Brandon say we're looking for more downside, which we have been for the entire day? You would have had a really good rejection point from the 50. I would pay attention to the 50 more than anything else. The whole channel works very well, and that's why micros work very well, because if you come into, let's say, a short trade like we had right here on Friday, and you started getting short kind of in the golden pocket. You had one MES right here, two MES right here, because you know that there's still room to magnet up to the 50, and then you add a few more, and then let's say it moves up to the third leg of the golden pocket, the 3820, and then you could dial in like 5, 6, 7, and then it starts that little trend of first tag and first rejection. That's why I like micro so much, incremental trading. So if you don't want to use the magnet first tag, use the inverse first tag, right? Because we have a move to it and then a scalp from it, not a full rejection point that is going to turn into a full counter trend like this did. That does not happen every day. We have moves all the time that hold yesterday's lows, push into the golden pocket, reject, but then create trend to move through. And that's our job, to find the confirmation as it's happening. MACD, RSI, higher, lower, high. Are we above or below VWAP? My top three, of course, are obviously trend. What are we doing? RSI, MACD, and then just the VWAP. Is the price action above? And trend and VWAP go hand in hand. So like I said on Friday, I said, guys, we're going to go for, that big short target's down there. If we're trending above VWAP, I want you guys to forget about that short target. If you're breaking through and downtrending in VWAP, I want you guys to target that short. And that's what we said when we got off on the Friday stream. And you can see what happened here with the purple VWAP, right? It broke over and then it cracked, lower high, cracked, could not get over VWAP, dumpy. So it gave you a really long time to take that confirmational trade coming from the rejection of the golden pocket. But it's always, first tag is a lot of that things. What to look for direction? That's exactly what we do day in, day out. RSI, MACD, and trend on VWAP. That's it. Those are your literal catalysts. There's nothing else to play with too hard. When we come in, it's what do you look for? Well, trend. Are we at a higher low, higher high? You get a check sheet. Write down a little note or get a dry erase board, have it next to you. Where's trend? Do we have higher lows and higher highs? Are we above VWAP or below VWAP? Are we in the bottom channel of the RSI or the top channel of the RSI? I ask myself that every single time I look for a trade. I mean, are we trending up really strong off of news, CPI, and jobs? That is our job as traders, to dial in every piece of psychology with technical. Do we have a CPI day? Do we know FOMC is happening later on in the day, 1 p.m.? So we know it's going to be a crap show the whole day, and then it's going to do this because it's FOMC, so we know not to trade the early morning. It starts with psychology when you walk into the day. Get your news pieces up, look at the data coming out, what are we doing, and then it's all trend dominancy. You can see right here in today for the full Friday episode of the stock market is low channel RSI here, tiny bit up channel, low channel RSI. So it's safe to say that for the entirety of the end of pre-market into the trade session, we have spent the whole time, except for 30 minutes, in the bottom side of the RSI. So my psychology tells me that we have a higher probability chance to come down. Same with the MACD. Look at the moving averages. How long have the lines been under zero line? How long the lines have been over? It is our job as traders to find confirmation. What are you looking for in confirmation? Those are my 4. There's no other answers. That is how you look for them. Though you got to stack the catalyst. That's what we teach every day. T+3 on stocks. T1 futures. Oh, is that for cash? T1 IRC. Okay. Yeah, tax benefits on futures too. Stocks suck. How liquid are futures options? They're pretty awesome, actually. MNQ is a little worse off, obviously, but I trade NQ options and ES options on the fly, man. It is so... I get way more fills on the futures than I do SPY and QQQ. So I only trade them over there now. Futures have been a complete change. I took everything I knew from stocks and options that I've learned over the years, and I just applied it right to futures. I didn't bother changing anything else. The only thing I had to learn was the percentage differences on how Qs and the ES correlated. And I still traded the options and everything else the same. 60/40, Benny Groups. Yep. What platforms you trade on? Right now we're trading with Project X. So we have some prop firms. My main broker is Tasty Trade. So my big account is in Tasty Trade. Tasty Trade handles all futures, all options, all stocks, and crypto if you want that as well. You can trade options on everything. They have the best options executions, best auctions platform, and best commissions, in my opinion, with the best fills and lowest crash time or shit fills. Tasty Trade is my main broker for the big accounts. Ninja Trader for just futures, amazing. AMP futures, amazing. I've traded with both of those for years. But right now we have had a prop firm kick for the last couple of years that we've been doing for our group. A lot of people want to know how to make money with no money. And I have pulled out, I think I did the math the other day. I gotta make that freaking, it's on my list, isn't it? I still gotta make that. I'm just gonna move this up to number 1 here. I'll log into my bank account tomorrow and we'll do a breakdown and I'll show you exactly how much money I've made with prop firms in the last just few months. We started heavily on Top Step and Top 1 now, and I'm checking out Tradeify because everybody wants me to do Tradeify, which is another pay to account. And essentially these prop firms will let you pull out a certain percent, right? So if you go to Top Step, you pass their trial account, they give you an express account, and you can take out 50% of your profits. Well, I did $135,000 withdrawal, which means I made $260,000 with $2,000 accounts through Top Step. And we'll do the bank account. I always post the transparency always in my group anyway, but I forgot the YouTube video the other day because I have so much going on. But I'll log in, I'll show you guys. But the platforms I like are definitely those. Ninja Trader, Interactive's okay. I would prefer Ninja Trader. Ninja Trader is the numero uno. They got Tradeivate, Ninja Trader, and the APIs to connect to TradingView and the best margin. So when you're looking at how much capital you have to leave in your account, Thinkorswim, even Tasty Trade, those are trash. So unless you're a big account trader like we are, if you get a big cash account and you've been doing this for a long time, go ahead and trade anywhere you want. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same if you got a huge account. But I'm talking about my boys out there with the what they want to make money with not having a ton amount of capital. Use something with lower margins. You got to use Ninja Trader, AMP trading. And if you really want really low margins, go to the Top Step and go to the prop firms, learn the rules. It's futures trading is just regular sport resistance. They don't have Greeks. You don't got to worry about anything like that in the futures contracts. It's just day trading. And they have fantastic payouts, and they have been paying out. We got 100 and I don't know what it is, 120 to 140, somewhere around there in the last 90 days. So we've been doing really good on just testing out the prop firms, and we're doing straight to funded. So you give them $400, They give you an account. You follow their rules. You do 10 days consistent green. You make a 20% consistency rule, and then they pay you out. And then if you're really good, they swap you to live, and you made it all on your own, all the way to live with somebody else's capital. Now you get a 90-10 and 80-20 split. They have a couple different companies that do different ones. So imagine working your way up from the bottom of these prop firms, and they give you a live account, and you get payouts every single day. It's just like a real cash account. Once you make it to live, there's no restrictions. So everyday payouts at top one, they pay you out immediately. There's lots of benefits to people trying this game with futures prop firms. And you can do it with cash if you don't want to do the prop firm stuff, but it's higher risk. You know, you put $5,000 in an account, you blow it, you actually lost $5,000. You go to Top Step or Top One or any of these other companies, you get $200 because you buy a $50 50K, you pass it, then you pay the 150 activation fee. You got $200 invested. We did $130,000 off $200 accounts. You know, that's it's pretty nuts. Dollar for dollar, percent to percent. You know. Oh cow, we got 15 minutes till open already. If I want to short and it's trending under VWAP, I usually try to wait until it goes above VWAP, because then sometimes you get caught in reversal. Yeah, that's literally liquidity sweeps. Yeah. Wouldn't shorting under VWAP be considered shorting lows? Well, no, price action is lows. VWAP is just an indicator for a line. So the VWAP is in the purple right here. Lows is, you know, down here, but the trend is what's more important, right? You got to use your other indicators. It's not just one indicator rules them all. So the first tag is my biggest metric. So if I was first tag shorting right here at the GP, I would be coming up to the golden pocket, tagging it, and taking a short to what? Where would my target be, guys? Where's my team in here? My class will know this immediately. If we broke up through something, very important, we hit first tag 50. I shorted right here. Where's my target, boys? Where is my target if I shorted this 50? It needs to come back to where because of confirmation trading. Where are we going? ES futures are pretty good. MEQ sucks. Liquidity. Yeah, MEQ. Micros don't. They trade the big ones on options. 1618. We don't have a 1618 on the screen. We do have a break over of something. We need to back test it though. We have a 50 fib right here. So I'm talking about this trade day right here, just what you see on the screen. No 1618s. Price action comes into the 50 fib. It broke over a couple certain things over here. So it's going to hit the 50 and come back to the 100. That's actually the second answer to the second question. 10 SMA is one of them, but VWAP is the key we're looking for the confirmation. But both of those work because yep, Terry's got it. He was in there before I said it. It's the VWAP and 10 SMA. 10 SMA in the blue here is more of a caveat. It's more of a how we get to the VWAP than it is a target. Because right here, this candle, what did it do? It snapped through 10 SMA and VWAP, right? And then it hit first tag 50. So it returns to the VWAP because confirmation says it needs to magnet back. So that was a short that we had taken there. But 10 SMA is a caveat for the VWAP because if you look right here, it broke over the 10 SMA too, right? And what do we say? If it comes back up, gets trapped under that 10 SMA, trapped, VWAP, right? It was the caveat. It was an extra resistance. So my trade plan is, okay, we broke over here. Here's my short entry because I know the GP first tag is going to work out at least statistically decent. If it comes down, we get trapped under the 10, right? That's confirmation of weakness. That's breaking trend and magnet back to the VWAP. And then notice what it did when it hit the VWAP. First tag on the backside, broke over, boom, big green candle. Look at that. And then snapped under, rejection, bye-bye. So it couldn't stay it. And then our oscillation indicators, again, just back it up. Like we were saying before, look at how much time we have spent in the lower channel of the RSI, which means all these pops into heavy resistance were shortable for this move right here. And then what do you notice about this V reversal? RSI and MACD cut through the top with strength and stayed in the top of the RSI, and all you seen was straight up. So it's a really helping hand to have those oscillation indicators on the bottom to predict further trend movement. But nope, not shorting under the VWAP. Shorting lows is shorting lows. Price action to VWAP is different. You're just a single indicator line for VWAP. If you're shorting lows, you'd be shorting at low a day, period. If it comes all the way back up here and you're shorting up here, that's you're shorting high a day. It doesn't matter where the VWAP is. VWAP is just the VWAP. Taco Tuesday. I think I missed all the good Taco Tuesdays. That's worst week of my life. I did have a quesadilla though. So many people bag on prop firms think it's a poor guy's game. I think otherwise, I would say most influencers make. I've seen people take out hundreds of thousands of dollars off only a couple $1,000 investment. Show me Show me a metric that you can do that on. Not just buying a crypto penny stock, pump and dump, NFT dump. Like prop firms are fantastic, especially if you don't have any money to work with. Like, why not spend a couple $100 and use the house money and then pay them a percent? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? All right, we got 10 minutes. We should probably set up for futures here. Trade Fi because top one lowered their max loss. Yeah, top one pissed me off. I went to Tradeify as well. I have top one and Tradeify. I have one Tradeify account. My second one because apparently I had Tradeify once and then I just apparently just forgot about it and it died. So I'm on account number 2. I don't know when that was, but let me look at it. Yeah, I have one trade day on my Tradeify. Where is it? Yeah, right here. And I don't care about the consistency. You can eat my, you know what? I made 4,683.72 on my first trade day. You got to get 10 trade days here, and then I got to knock this consistency down to 20%. I don't care about the P&Ls because there's no penalty for max P&Ls. What I'm doing is I'm getting a huge bank there. So if I hit that stupid soft stop, whatever, and you lose 3,500, it kicks you out, I still have a bunch of soft stops left under that, right? So I'm not going to do it in 10 days, that consistency. I'm going to stretch this out and I'm going to get a couple payouts on these and then I'll buy more accounts because I won't buy more accounts unless I earn them. So, but I do have Tradeify up right now. We are working on that. We got our top one. We got our triple accounts on top one. We got 3 there. So no, we're still working on with a couple of them. But we're going to do some cash too. We'll see. Mine doesn't match. Volume weighted average price in the purple, it's 588.14. There's no changes. That's just standard Thinkorswim though. Make sure you're on the right platform because if you're on TradingView or anything else, just throw it in the garbage. You don't actually have a VWAP. They don't know how to calculate by volume weighted average price. TradingView doesn't know how to do anything except for anchors and like regular baseline support resistance with fibs, like hard lines, like support resistance like this and like fib sideways. You can't get TradingView to calculate any moving average correctly. You can't get them to calculate any VWAP correctly. So make sure you're on Thinkorswim. And that's just the standard VWAP. All I have is the deviation extensions on in orange and blue. So purple is 0, orange is +2, -2 in the blue. But yeah, I have checked Tradeify. Yep, we're in that one right now. Instant funding. I only know of top one and Tradeify. I'm sure there's a few more, but those are the only 2 I'm working with right now. I'm not a huge prop firm trader. I still trade my big accounts all the time, so I only do this on the side for the stream and stuff. So I'm not sure about all the other ones. I'm sure you could just type in, Google what ones. I don't know which ones. I only suggest them to you guys if I can get a payout. Okay, if they deny me or if I get scammed, then it's just me. I'm not going to sit here and talk about a prop firm that scams people. Like Apex is a huge scam. We went through that whole debacle, and we got money out of them, but still a scam. But there's got to be different ones that are not as quite bad money grabs out there. So all right, let's set up here because we got the 5 p.m. and we'll give out some cash monies and we'll see. All right, so first comes first. We need yesterday's high low as a GP. Let's set this up, boys. Let's get our golds on. Shit, we talked a lot. We got 7 minutes to do this. Let's see how fast we can do this and trade live. I haven't looked at anything else. Okay, gold, this. Got our dailies on. Great. Anything on the moving average land that we need to know about for magnets? That's where I start next. So I'm going to come in and go, okay, what did we do on that V reversal? We have tagged the 100 EMA. We have tagged, no 200. That's I don't like the consolidations like that. That's yucky. We do need a 666 tag. So, okay. We have 2 GPs on the minute right here at this high. We are very interested to coming down to this golden pocket because of the imbalance there, right? Yep. All right, we're going to switch to the 5 minute on ES here. I like how there's no big GPs above us. That's good. Obviously, we got some back here. Usually, we don't get 3 in a row. That runs away. We did not. All right, next I'm going to take, I got to pick a candle for a 5 minute Fibby that is from the prior day. Let's check the 15s quick. Oh man, look at that. At 15-minute has the no GP with it as well. Let's fib out this 15 right here. Oh yeah, short open. Okay, we're good. I hope. Okay, we gotta pray for a no gap down. We're gonna put this 15 in green on both of these. This is gonna be a short biased open. It looks like. Should probably log into my stuff so I could trade, eh? NQ, yeah. Oh, I didn't save any of my settings. Okay, there we go. Never mind. We're good. Scared me. Do one NQ here. Leader. Follow ES over here. Okay. So what we're going to look for here, and this is why. So we got a 15-minute fib and daily fib. That is it. We're going to do the 15 minutes in neon green. The hell changed neon green? Oh, the back thing did. That's funny. Okay. 15 minutes going to stay in green. We're going to go to the 1 minute chart first, and we're going to pray that we don't have a gap down into sport because we're going to look for that rejection. So one of the coolest parts of this is on the green fibs on NQ went 3618, ES went 2618. Anything under 2618 on NQ side is shortable right here. This is the trade plan. We're going to hope to all godly entities of whatever the hell you believe in that we don't get a huge gap down into, because if we get a massive gap down here, I don't even trade it. We're just going to give away the cash and we're out of here. I'm going to go hang out with the kids. It's not going to be a good one, unfortunately. Under yesterday's close for this one, down to the 100 in GP, and that's it. There's the only outlook I can see right here. And the reason we did that is because the 15 high low has a straight up V reversal from Friday, and we tagged right here into 21,425.71. That is the 3618 of the 15. You see the tag high day, and then we consolidated the 2618. So two things usually happen here. It goes the 2618 back up to those GPs. GP resistance tag, because I would not be looking for any higher. That's these guys right here, okay? On the minute chart, remember, they don't exist on the 5, so I'm not really worried about those at all. I'm still 100% short biased. So what we're going to hopefully see is an open, and I'm just going to click the short button, and we're just going to make some money. Cross your fingers. Hope for the best. I'm going to go NQ on this side over here too. I'm going to only trade NQ here. We got a lot of back-tested anchors that we need as well. Nikes, hurry up, man. I'm trying to get all this set up now. I'm trying to get the anchors set up here now too. See if there's any, no, there's none. There's no 1 minute anchors that need to be tagged here. So I'm setting this anchor right here as well in the minute chart. So this breakout was on an algo, 21,248. This dude right here, it's an open high-low close on 1318 Central for me. And that anchor hit once right here, created a lower high, then shied right here. So if we are under, anything under 21,350, that's the sweet spot for the anchor as well. All right, we got to get these other anchors on here. Sorry, guys, I can't see any questions right now. I got to set up. We got like 2 minutes. Probably not even. All right. T1 short. T1 short. The T2. And again, this might be wasted effort. We could open up in a major gap down and this turns into, oh, well, it is what it is. All right, short bias for me. 1 minute to the open. Let's check her out. Hey, no problem, Shiny. Thanks, buddy. TPT is pretty good. They just want you to be disciplined. Hence a trailing intraday. Yep, I won't trade anything with a intraday trail step top down. Anything that you enter a trade and you're green and then it blows your account up if you go back down to still green is a scam for me. I can't, anything that has an intraday trailing stop, there's no way. deal with passing the combines, but now it's instant funding. Yep. Top one is all instant. We got paid out $7 grand, and I got more coming here on top one already in the last couple weeks. So top one's great. Tradeify, it's just a little bit longer, just consistency a little bit longer. 10 days. It's not a big deal if you plan on going slow and profitable trading. Nobody should be coming into these prop firms and going, oh man, I'm just gonna ape in every single day, and after 5 days withdraw my whole account. Like, come on, take it seriously. You can get a live account and you can trade with their money. 80-10 if you work your way up. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. All it takes is your time and effort and a few $100s, and you can have a 15, I think 15 grand is what you can take into the live. Ah, boo! It opened up on the short target. That's what we didn't want to happen. That was the crappy prediction there. Is if it opens up in the gap down and hits there, it's going to be the opposite. That's the ending short, and look what it did. It's a long. So short targets become long entries. Oh well. Win some, lose some. We'll see how high she goes on the first minute here, and I'll probably short some anyway, but only if it comes up to some of the anchor back test. So it needs to come all the way back up towards 21,350 area, like all the way back up here. We didn't hit the 618, which is good. So NQ, ES already hit the 100. So yeah, these trades are unfortunately lame. That's okay. But short the first minute here is a decent one. I'm going to short the first minute reversal here. So what I like to do is short the first minute, and then I do the reversal to golden pocket. So what you want to see here is the first minute end. The candle sinks back down and comes down to the GP. Yeah, we got that one right there. Pretty good. Come on, GP tag. There we go. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Okay. So I just shorted that one down to the GP. What I did was I waited to the last 15-second candle like we always do. So what happened was the candle was way up here at 5 p.m. 01:45, and then it comes down to the GP for the new candle. I kind of took a bigger position, but I did this one on the Tradeify account. We got a lot of space to do, but quick little $960 on that one. And that's a typical for us. All my elites know exactly what that strategy is, so quick $1,000 there. But we got to find a better one here, dude. We got to get this stupid ass red block out my way. If we get stuck under the 3820, I'm still a short player here. I just need to come down to the 1618, so I'm probably going to short NQs here. I'm going to go slow on NQ entries right now, because if it pops up, I don't want to hold through 40 freaking points of NQ. So I'm going to short right here a little bit of NQ. I'm not going to go too heavy. And what I'm looking for is 21,286.75. But what's going to happen is a pop, 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 scam, scam, scam until we hit resistance of some kind, most likely a moving average. So that's why you want to go real. So I keep saying NQ, MNQ. Sorry. I'm starting slow with MNQ. And then I'm going to shift over to NQ if we see speed under the GP. So what we're going to do is fib out that first minute like this. Point it to the downside. Where's our 2 second? Oh, yeah, we're good. So expectation is anything under the opening 1 minute GP down to the 1618 and down to the 2618 of the daily GPs. But the first target, that big daily GP, is already hit. So we're kind of in the bounce mode. If SPY breaks over 5,902, it is game over, because we are over 5,900 right now anyway. So no shorts if we're not under 5,900, and no shorts. And for NQ, it's going to be 21,300. Of course, we're way over that, but I'm still shorting right now. My entry is 21,311, but I left a lot of room to manage. And what I want to see is a dump out of here for the quick speed down to the GP, which did not hit if you zoom in real close. So we're going to go to 21,295, and I'll put an order out there for 21,295. Actually, a little bit ahead of that. So we're going to go from there to there. Okay, so my order's out at 21,296, and I'm hoping for a short down. My average is 21,311. If I get real speed here under 5,900, then we can take a little serious. But right now it's a crap short because we opened up into so much support. So I don't want you guys, don't ape in any kind of shorts right now. This is a class D trade evolving into something great. We are waiting for this thing to scam everybody and pop up first. And just in case it washed out, we wanted to be ready for it, but we have all the anchors up there. We got 40-point squeeze coming most likely, so we started with MNQ, and that's why we manage it very slowly. There's your squeeze, as expected, above VWAP as well there, holding that. And again, just looking for those moving averages because we gapped over the 100 EMA, so all the way up towards 21,350, and that'll be our not management. I'm going to put some extra sell orders out there for NQ. If we happen to get a flash up there, I want to get in short 21,350. Oh, is the bid ask showing you? Cool. Yeah, I don't look at that. Yeah, and again, over 5,900 and over 21,003. We opened up into all of the support, so my brain wasn't fast enough to just go, I was looking for that short, and my brain wasn't fast enough to, simple long. But still going to stay short for now. What you want to do is fib out. You can fib out the first candle too. I like to overlap these. These are fun. Because 1618 right here with both 5909, something like that. So not a big deal. I'm going to stay short. I'm going to keep adding in shorts. Yeah, it's gonna keep scamming up. So don't go heavy right here. This is a very simple move. So wait for everything to catch up. We need 10 SMA, 100 EMA. And again, we already hit that 2618. So my biggest, like short from here, the biggest watch is going to be down here first. We need to come down here first. That's why I'm shorting right now. I know it doesn't look great because it doesn't, but the magnets are still magnets, and we did not hit what we needed to hit down there in NQ in the 50. So what you're looking for here, anything under high day 250 here, like this. There we go. We're getting a little red. That's what we want to see. Yeah, we're still pretty much flat on trade. No big deal. I'm looking to get down to just the 61.8 here, which is 21,295. That'll be a short cover scalp because I could see this thing slamming into the bottom of this pretty nicely for us, I think. Slow and steady. So I added up a little bit more on that crack. We got a nice speed coming here at that open. 21,300 needs a speed break here. So I added up a little bit there on this trade. So we're a little heavier now. Little. Nothing crazy. Got some NQs. I'm hoping for like $500, $600 now if we get down to 21,295. Come on, wash her out. Yeah, we don't need much here. We need... Oh, the trade. Oh, that's right. Top one, I can only go up to $1,000 for 10 days consistency perfectly. I need $1,000 every day. So, yeah, I shouldn't try to make too much right here, actually. Let me close that piece right there. Okay. All right, holding a little bit here. This is still higher low territory, guys. We're just playing the speed. 5,900 is still support. If we're not under that, I don't want you guys in too heavy. I can manage this stuff quite quick, and you guys are going to get that stream lag, so... Following is suicide. Trade your own trades. Wait for that 10 SMA. I'm waiting for a big ad right here on that short for this little, not little, the amount of points we have is awesome right here too. 295. Yeah, 295. That's the GP. Yeah, we got like 18 points. That's $1,800 at my normal size right here times 3. So we don't need to have anywhere near that much on right now to make a good trade. I'm waiting for the 10 SMA and the blue there to catch up and see if we can't get some minor resistance to come down to GP NQ. Because remember, ES and SPY, as we already talked about, is the real market. It already hit the GP right here, the golden pocket of yesterday. So if we are above 59.02, you should not be short with any real size. You should have tiny MNQs on here. Double gap there. So we're waiting for the resistance to come. 10 SMA is almost here. And we could get a breakout here, no problem at all. Especially with the small size. CCP, Ukraine, Zelensky, drones. We need more news? I don't think so. Oh, there's my 10 SMA. You can do it, 10 SMA. Be our resistance, because once if this is our resistance to fail down here, I will be happier than a clam to slap some on the bit here. Real small. Nothing big needed at all. So 10 SMA's first tag resistance there. We're looking good. We just got to lower high this and we're golden. 10 SMA is the push down. It's the catch-up resistance. It could have break out. Sure, we're above the 3820. Here, it's very dangerous to be above the VWAP and above the golden pocket there to push, but the magnet for Qs and the magnet for the 50 down here just seem pretty strong. The sucky part is that 100. That's the bad part because we didn't get anything on the Qs, and SPY is the real market. So if you were looking for the 1618, the 618 for the golden pre-open, you missed every single target on NQ, and NQ is still going to go up because SPY. So we're going to sit here and wait and wait and wait. Positioning heavy. I know this is going to squeeze and scam everybody here pretty bad, so I don't want you guys in at all. You could upside it if you wanted to, like we said, 40 points ish, but I'm only going to play that short because we have a really good one. Let's give away some accounts while we wait for the trend to set up. So don't be into that short side right now until you see underneath 10 SMA structure. Needs lower lows, needs speed. It's very hurtful. I'm still short, but we're managing. I can manage an easy couple hundred on these. YouTube random comment pick up. That's not my normal one. There we go. That's the one I know. Yeah, you shouldn't be short right now, guys. Just wait. Wait for under the 10 push. You're just getting our first 10 SMA reaction, and all you did was bounce mega support on SPY, which means scamola, because we dropped down into perfect short target, which means all long. All right, let's do the that's it video 2 days ago. Is that Friday? Friday's video. Let's give away some cold hard cash to our friends here for the support. Because you're going to get scammed here if you're short, and you're going to get smacked until you wait for confirmation. So we're sitting here. We're going to give away some money. Nice job, Delta. Yeah, we're up 900 and 600 on all the other three right now, but this is a very slow play, so we got time. All right, friends, 3 plus 10, or 7 is 10. Good comments. All right, here we go. Let's give away some cash money for the commenters and subscribers. Textiles, I remember that name. I see him a bunch. Interactive friend, Greeny Green. Love to see it. Might even be in the chat today. Well, you got her, buddy. Pop into the X, please. Shoot me a message. This game's rigged if Mason doesn't win. Yep. She's coming back for that 100 EMA. So again, all longs right now, guys. All longs. You're not looking at any shorts. We could actually peg out the minute right now to the 1618 up there. It's playing some momentum to that upside. If it drops again and confirms at the 100, you could actually buy this off that 10, but probably won't. Probably just shoot 10 points up. We'll see. But Textiles, you're the winner, brother. Hit me up, my friend. On X, Venmo, PayPal, whatever it is. Congrats. So we're going up to the 1618. We're going to get up here. T1 long is going to be 161 and 100 EMA 1 minute here. And we'll probably get a breakout. So, oh, never mind. Right there. So you probably get a squeeze fast there. We like that. Remember, 21,350. Where's our 1618? So rejection point again, 100 EMA. Doesn't look like we're going to be going quite down here, but that gap down ruined all of our perfect short play. We did pick a perfect support, though. Inverse thinking there. Boom! Look at that squeeze right through, too. That was a nice one. And this thing's going to probably continue the squeeze here if it doesn't drop here. That first tag 100 EMA is nothing. We have a really nice pattern there. MACD was looking really good there too on that scamola. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Order filled. Oh, the market smacked me. I got out of that long reverse scalp there. It just scammed me out of 300 bucks on the fill, 900 altogether. Here's my 333 right here on the top ones. We got 755 times 3. So 2,100 bucks and 1,000. Right now we're up 3,100 altogether. And we're just watching the upside ticks here, guys. Our poor shorts. Our trade plan ruined. We're stuck with making pennies instead of mega monies. Hey, thanks. What's up, dude? No problem, dude. Congrats. Thanks for always tuning in and hanging out with us. So shoot me a X message, whatever your email is for PayPal, or if you got a Venmo, buddy. I can only make $1,000 on these right here, so I got to find out what's the math here. Short 7, so yeah, 250. Need a 250 scalp. 1618 back down to the 100 fib would be best case scenario here, but we might fill this gap and go yesterday's close first. No structure, nothing else is changed up. We got perfect chill zones here. I think this last high or low is the 5-minute GP at open, so let's go take a peek at that real quick on the 5-minute. I'm staying short on some of the other micro smalls right here just because we got a lot of management room. Where is this GP? Yeah, that's 5-minute for sure. Yeah, not bad. Correct. When we say you got to get out there for you guys, what I manage and what I want other people to trade through and manage on their small accounts is very different. But yep, that was full long because you could see that the golden pocket didn't hold down. So when the GP is not resistance, the VWAP is not resistance. We opened up into mass support right here at 5,900. 5,900 is psychological defended, and the 100 fib, yeah, she was guaranteed up. Our whole big short play here was killed off, unfortunately, by the drop down open, which is fine. We just, like we said, we open up at a mass support. If I say we open up at a mass support, that means probably long biased. Especially getting my butt kicked here on the MNQs. We're down a whopping $170. But I have a lot of management room here, so it doesn't, on the big account, does not matter. For the props, for you guys scalping, when I say for you guys, keep those props live. Keep going to that downside here. We got a little bit more to go. I want to see this. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think 356 will happen, but 2618 up there. Anything under the 1618 is back down to the 100 now, so the 5-minute won't show it, obviously, but no such thing as a dumb question, dude. Not at all. Anybody that makes you feel dumb for asking a question is a literal idiot. It's rude. Questions are the only way you figure anything out. Ask as many as you can. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Ever. Really nice flag here. He's popping. I like this. The downside back to some of these GPs, but we shied it. Again, it's all about the SPY. We literally talked about this in the Q&A, and you can see right here, 38.20 to 50. That was the support hit right there. We wanted to open up here and short into that, right? But we opened up right on it, so long out of it. And now it's got a little bit more to go. Usually can get a 3-legger. I don't know if we'll see anything here, but 100 EMA first tag, nice little slow reject there. It's all about the SPY though, remember. So SPY ES has not hit the 100 EMA yet, so magnet up there, still potential. I want to short from the 1618 to the 100 is what I want, but we already have GP tags on all this, so the scalp looks like this. So it's tough to navigate these because you don't want to go all in up here at a 3-up. And what a 3-up means is price action comes in waves and trend, right? So if this is the opening candle, 1 push up comes back down, high or low, 2 push up comes back down, 3 push up. So we'll see if that happens. I still got shorts on. I just added a little bit more on the top 1 accounts, the triple. So even for you guys, I'm just going to short some under. It's got like 17 points, right? It's like anything under 21,340. Just right here, 1618 to the 100. It's got 16.97 points on her here. The only bad part is I'm waiting to add real size till the ES hits the 100 EMA because ES matters, NQ does not. So you'll see NQ get kind of bastardized a lot of the time between the two. Pull this ish back 10 points. I'm saying we got orders out to fill at 328 and we're at 337 right now. So I don't know if we'll fill that low. It'll be close. It'll get it. Like my order will fill. We're at 28. The fill would be 23. So we're pretty far ahead of the fill. I'm just waiting for this to come down. I'm hoping the Qs has a fast enough pace to come down to the 100 right here, because we're in the short, like, you know, right here, and we broke it down right here like we were talking about at the 10 and 1618. So we needed to come back down here for 250, because if I get 250, it's $1,000. We made $3 grand and $4 grand with the other account. So $4 grand open ain't bad, but we need this thing to scooch out the way and down. And I just don't think this is the drop. I think it's going to get picked up and kind of slam up. But I mean, if you get a fill, great. We made $3 grand on these and we got to lock them out because consistency. So 10 days, they want you to make, or want you to trade. So I might as well just make $1,000 each day and just let it go to 10 grand at the end, and winner, chicken dinner, you know? So I'm going to fill that order short right there because we're getting really close to the 200 SMA. I just took that off myself. So we're up 882.80. We're still looking for $1 grand. So we need $120. Looking for 120. And I think we're going to loop the 10. We're going to push up here on the ES, it looks like, honestly. I could long the ES to the 100 EMA on this 10 SMA loop. Doesn't look that bad. That would be a 3-up, so. You'd have to break up towards high day and go for that, so yeah. I could see that. As usual. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a long life for trading, man. My brain hurts, dude. For the giveaway? No, just YouTube comments, actually. We're trying to grow the small community that we got of like-minded traders, and all we do is pick YouTube comments. So all you got to do is subscribe to this YouTube, drop a comment on every video I post, and I just pick once a week, Monday through Friday. I drop a video, I try to. Monday, oh, there's the short, woo! I'm missing it, of course, but Monday through Friday, like say tomorrow starts Monday, I'll do a video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we do a live class sometime during the weekend, or I'll do a pick. And as long as you commented on something Monday through Friday, you have it, you're entered. I do use a random video and a random comment picker. And I'll come through and just pick whoever, doesn't matter. Random comment picker will do its job. And we just give away cash just for helping and supporting the channel. It's better than YouTube promotionals. Those freaking things, I tried a couple times and you pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for nothing. Might as well just give it to the community so they can try funded accounts and shit, I don't know, do whatever you want with it. But nope, all you got to do is scan. Does that mean for the consistency you have to be green all 10 days? No, you just got to trade 10 days as far as I think it says. I think you just got to meet the consistency rule of 20% with 10 trading days. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it's green or not. I don't think it is, but I think it's just 10 trade days. That's a good question. 20% is the consistency. I don't think it's consistent green 10 days. I don't think so. Yeah, it's definitely rigged if Mason doesn't win. Mason posts his P&L. I'm not worried about Mason's P&Ls. He's doing fine. Okay, there's the short. I got it a little early on that one. That's okay, though. Well, $600 never hurt anybody. We're coming down. If we come under VWAP here, you're going to start watching short follow through then. Because if we get speed, we're finally going to come to the QQQ, or NQ, rather, move. And that's the one I really wanted to see was the fun NQ one all the way down to the 61.8 because we shied it. So a lower day tag would be kind of nice here. But not right now. We're just back testing tons of support. Now, if it does stay under the 100, you can definitely look for this move now. But this one's going to take some time to set up. You don't want to be shorting all willy-nilly right here looking for like free downside. Not at lows like this. This is still in process of a third higher low, and we're still waiting for structure. We got structure break lightly at that top, and I don't like those very much. I'm not good at those. $38.20 here. If we start to crack under the 38.20, Qs has a chance to come down to the 61.8. We're trying to get Qs down to 21,295. That would complete my trade day here. That'd be nice. We'll see though. If it pops back to the 100 fib without scamming, we're going to get some cook speed to the downside here, I think. We'll see. We'll see. We got to get a new low a day under VWAP, so that's the only way it's going to start this beautiful trend down. And we could shy the gap fill. I'm fine with that. Usually this pushes into the gap a lot of the times anyway, so target's still going to be. Let's activate this, move it over so you guys can see the fucking thing. There we go. 21,295, 3 cents. Anything under the golden pocket here is going to be fine. We're actually tagging the top of the golden pocket. We need a bounce from here, so structure would come down into the GP, pop back up, right? Give us a lower high and then continue down, but right now it looks so heavy that it kind of just wants to die off, which is fine, but you know. Patience, patience, patience. Here's the speed. She's moving to the G, to the GP here, through the GP pretty quickly. The target 2 shorts, that 100 fit, we already hit that, so I'm worried about Qs over here. That's about it. And as long as SPY is breaking through the GP, we're okay. It's trying. It's not getting anywhere because we got a huge support near 21,300. I think keeps kicking everything back pretty far. So I don't trust any of these shorts now. So obviously we're not going to short the low of a move. You need structure to rebuild into a lower high for trend. Stay under VWAP and so on and so forth. Size appropriately, Rob. We're on the sidelines for a little bit longer. We'll trade till about 5:30. We'll see if the new 30 candle does some work here. Let me check the cameras, make sure my kids aren't freaking dying. No, they're fine. Obvious jokes. So we're getting some good speed here. We got to make it through this 1618 and get some 2618 action or lower. I can't show anything at the lows, obviously. It's suicide stuff, but we could scalp up here if we decide that's viable. We'll see. The GP here it's a little fighty, but it's so heavy. The MACD's looking really good too on that 1 minute. I don't like the 1 minute that much, but it's got good waves. So I'm gonna stay scalping here. Clear shot under the 1618. We're still chilling. I can't short lows though, even though it's probably just gonna ripsaw down here in a sec. It's too scurry. Yeah, she's gonna go. That's all right. We tried. I caught a small piece. Shouldn't have traded the it was upside at the 1618, definitely not downside here. The T1's not too bad. Shotgun or taser. So that's what you need whenever we're not going to short lows. We're not going to size up here, Rob. Hit him with the freaking cattle prod for the cows that we got. Big Rob over there, big positions. Yeah, we're going to sneak down at 20,003. What I'm looking at is right here, guys. Obviously, this last 1 minute Fibonacci pointed down. So we're up to $900.19. We got pretty much $3 grand here, $1 grand on the other. We're just shy of 4K, but you don't want to go under this 2618 or short to this. You're obviously at the bottom of this whole move. So it makes sense to squeeze up, shy the 2618, scam all the, we'll call them geniuses that would short lows, and push it all the way back up to 316 and then walk back down. That's what we're talking about, guys. Spot on. Yeah, it's probably going to come back up here. VWAP, it's going to go 5903, you know, something like that. And then it's going to come piling back down. So we don't have anything to worry about. Oh, 1 minute gap here. It looks like down here. Is that paired on both? Oh, yeah, we got a paired gap. We're good to go. That's a good level right there, boys. Filled immediately, but it's okay. Oh, we got the ask is stretched on this thing. I think I can get a 100 rejection here. I bet 100 fib. I bet you. I only got to make 90 bucks. Let's get up to some of these GPs here. 100 is at right here, 21,323.36. That gap filled pretty fast. But that's what we needed, though. We needed to pop from down here to a lower high, or Nikes. I don't know, man. Smack this 10 SMA and come on down. I'll scalp either one. If we get a little speed, I'm still waiting for it to come back up to the 1722 candle, which is 21,322, which lines up perfectly with the 100 fib right here. We're holding that GP again, and it's exactly what we said not to do. Don't be a silly goose. Are we going to reject this 100 fib? Hold on here. No, we got to go up. Break out to that 100. We got to back test 323 up there. Come on. Don't be a silly goose. The bid ask right here, ridiculous. Order it filled. Order it filled. There we go. I'm scalping long to the 100. Give me 5 more. I'm trying to get my moolah. I'm doing Mikey's back up because all we got to do is hit $1,000. We got to lock out these accounts. Boom, order filled. Okay. Never been so excited. Hit $80. All right, guys. We shied the GP here. We got the 100 tag. Almost. We're going to go up one more time, in my opinion. One more little scam up. But we did get that long scalp through the 100. We got 1,000. We got 1,100 bucks times 3. So I'm locking these. We're done. 3 grand here. Then we're gonna go to the Tradeify account for the live tomorrow, plus the live cash accounts. That'll be about it, my friends. That's all I wanted to do is hit my Monday goals. We're all done. 3K there. We're gonna swap over the other ones. 1K with the other. Sound any advice for option traders regarding your conviction? Thursday and Friday is golden plays for the short on SPY, but got other trade for a loss. Well, conviction happens with size, Bo. A lot of the times, my biggest thing is size. And if I can't trade small size consistently, I would probably go back to the roots, and especially for an options trader, right? So if you're an options trader, there's a lot of different things that will correspond with position to psychology. More often ITM versus way out of the money, right? Or I'm sorry, at the money versus way out of the money. So if you're an options trader that is right at the money, right? Like dead at the money, and you have bigger size there, you're going to see a lot of whipsaws. If you're somebody that's using a contract much farther away, you're not going to see the P&L's whipsaw as bad, right? I would stay picking, like if you're on dominant trend, if you're buying puts, don't go right at the money. Give yourself a little bit of room. Go out 1 standard deviation, make sure the volume's there, make sure you're on the contract that actually has movement, but don't play as big. Most of the things that keep me in a trade is my size. So when I slowly come back down, 10 SMA loop to the downside, correct? Yeah, short. It's more conviction rate with size appropriately, and with options, it's time and size. You have to overlap that conviction of common sense, right? So if we're playing outside of the deviation, we're way out standard deviation -1. We're not allowing ourselves to kind of get panicky where the P&L is maybe back. Pow, pow, pow. If you're doing NQ contracts, Christ, those things are 300, 500, 700 tiny little 1 minute candles, right? But if you're at an MNQ contract and you're 1 standard deviation of account, you're not going to see the P&L. So I would practice something a little farther out of the money to help you battle P&L fatigue. So if you see that P&L go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, that fatigue stacks up. We only, as traders and just as humans, for an emotional tank, you're still looking at long to the 100 first, though. Don't short the loop yet if it's not under for the loop. The confirmation is being under the 10. But as human beings and traders, we have a gas tank. We wake up Monday morning, pre-market analysis, we start breaking stuff down. We start taking trades. That tank starts to diminish. It's like miles, right? 1 trade, 2 trade, 3 trade, 4 trade. I'm pissed off. 5, 6, 7, 8. I looked at charts for 3 hours. That gas tank went from full to a quarter tank. You're getting fatigued, right? To keep more fuel in the tank, to keep that fatigue away, to keep your mental health ready, size appropriately is numero uno, right? You have to pick appropriate size. If your account is small and you're too afraid of just a couple $100 whipsaw back and forth P&L, I would trade a prop account or a demo for a little bit, right? Yeah, emotional capital, absolutely. But for options, I would definitely take it slower to the long standing. I would go out deviations, and my conviction rate, I would start targeting targets where I think it's going to go. Your cost is less, your commissions are less, and also your P&L whipsaw, which your P&L is also going to be less because you're not playing right in the money or deep in the money or right at the money, whatever you happen to be playing. But I would say smaller position sizes leaves you open for management. So if I took a put, and let's say hypothetically you had your short all dialed in, you were ready to go for that short move, and you were in green or you had it all set up, but you took a red on it. Maybe if we would have taken one tiny contract and it popped up against us, we could have taken another tiny contract and used hard stop losses, hard open close stop losses. And what I mean by that is we'll do one on the screen right here, and this is what I usually do besides the articulated momentum here. Let's say the 38.20. No 10 SMA loop. Be careful on that. Hold on. What does this look like over here? Unless it's under the 10, don't short that. That might work out, but don't, unless you're cracking under the 10 decently, you can follow that short. But that 100 EMA catch up is still going to be a burden for this high or low. It's over under 38.20, plain and simple. Don't short this with a huge conviction. Over under 38.20 with trend. You don't have trend yet. It's like this, okay? So hard open close. So Bo, if you're for stop out range, don't stop out just because something comes up to a level and just taps it. Say we're long over here, short, and it comes up to here, and you're like, oh man, this short is ass backwards. We're getting trapped in this trade. You got to pick a level first. You got to have a plan when you come in. You pick a level, and you're like, okay, if the price act, don't short that loop. If it comes over this price action, you could stop out and blah blah blah. Great, but you have to have a candle and a level. What a hard open close means for level is a candle. So let's say I pick out 59.02. We're coming into it as a shorter. We're underwater. We're taking a red, and I want to stop out around 59.02. I would need a whole candle to produce itself above it, which means the open and the close of that candle needs to be above 59.02. That would give me conviction to stop out of my trade. If it is chopping a level, I don't care. I'm completely robotic with the emotions. I do not care. Unless a whole candle is created for hard open close, then yes. Okay, now rejection of VWAP. That was terrifying. You got that GP at 1722. Now you're good to go. Especially if you're in a large move. Yep. With picks and cheaper options, possibly get fear of loss, emotional intelligence. Absolutely. Will you ever sell calls? Every single day of my life. That's how I swing, right? I actually had a whole YouTube dedicated to options trading where I taught credit spreads and the free trades that Rob taught me, actually. You see RB in here. He's one of my old option mentors that taught me a lot of the stuff that I applied to my TA. So, but yes, he's very good at option. Knows way more than I do with crazy, but I don't even understand half those spreads anymore. The only thing I do is credit spreads and options. I don't buy them anymore at all. I will pick a level that action will stay under or over because of Fibonacci, and I'm much cleaner of a trade value with that. I tend not to do very well with buying in like debit spreads or anything like that. I don't want to fight the Greeks. I want the time to work with me, not against me. So I'd prefer not to fight those. But I sell calls in like when there's huge technical setups on weeklies and dailies, I'll sell calls all the time. I'm planning a really big trade I'll post publicly for 2026. I'm going to put like one of those house trades on the 2026 dump. So I'm going to sell calls at all-time highs of 2025 or whatever we hit in 2025 for the dump and static motion of 2026. So I'll put that in the X too. I'll post everything that I trade on the big one there. We're going to put in a very big trade short on 2026. But yep, I love selling options. I'd rather play with the time. Trade gold once in a while. I get my butt kicked a couple times in gold. I don't do very well in gold. NQ and ES are my go-tos for the last few years here. I got my butt kicked in gold last couple times. I've called a few gold trades. I've swung gold a whole bunch, but I'm not very good at day trading it, to be honest. No problem, Bo. 12 leg options. No, I can barely handle 4 for condors and inverse butterflies where action's either out of the strikes or in the strikes. My brain is not. I'm basic, man. A couple fibs and a couple candles, man. Let's just go with that. That's all I need. All right, my friends. I'm going to get with the kiddos. We're going to get those dudes fed. Thanks for tuning in. Grats text for winning the drawing, my friends. We're going to get out of here. Hope you guys showed out, made a little bit of money and all the goods. If you ever want to trade with us live, links in the description. First link there. If you want to win some more money, all you got to do, like we said, Monday through Friday, just drop a comment, be subscribed. The comment picker will tell me if you're subscribed. It'll tell me if you're in the and dropping comments and likes, and then you just win free cash. Simple as that. We try to get back to the community of traders that support us. Take care. Peace out, brothers. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.